In a world where pop culture reigns supreme, with too many podcasts and unsolicited opinions, two friends brave the storm to give you just that. Room 303 presents Revenge of the Pod. With your hosts, the Mexican meat connoisseur, Jason Escudero, the Puerto Rican nerd aficionado, Luigi Orozco. On with the show.
Welcome to Revenge of the Pod. I'm your host, Luigi, and this is my co-host,
Jason. What's up, everybody? Glad to have you back for a very special episode. We got some juicy stuff for you.
Yeah, I feel so weird now still with the intro because I'm used to like saying it all, but it's all said for me. So I'm like, oh, let's just get straight into it. Jason, how you been, man? What's new? What's going on with you? What's cooking?
Not much, man. Just before we do get started though, make sure to follow us on Instagram, revenge_of_the_pod, on X at ROTP boys, and then on YouTube, Revenge of the Pod. So
that's right.
Someone told me that someone told us that we don't plug our stuff too much. So make sure I mean, if you already listened to us, you probably know where we're at, but still make sure you check us out. We're on X, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube. So but yeah, man, been good. Celebrated my birthday weekend. That was cool. March Madness started this week. It was cool. Texas won their first game and then got bounced in the second round, lost by 4 points, and I was really, really sad. Other than that, though, man, it was fun. We went out, celebrated yesterday. Do you know who Dave Portnoy is? No. Like the head dude of Barstools.
Oh, yes. Actually, never mind. Yes, I do know that.
Okay, yeah. Miss Peaches. You know Miss Peaches, right? No? Ah, dude. He just like rescued a dog and like she's like freaking all over TikTok, bro. She's precious. Anyways, he was there. I got to see him. I didn't like he was at the bar that I went to, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh shit, Dave. A buddy of mine took a picture with him and got an autograph from him. So it was cool, man. It was a good overall weekend. Jamie made it very special. 33 made me feel good, you know. It was cool. It was a great celebration weekend for me. Minus Texas losing and breaking my heart. What about you, brother?
I just got to add on to what you said. The girls really do know how to make you feel special, right?
They do, yeah.
Gabby really made me feel special. Like, everybody came through. It was nice. Just a couple days before yours, really. But, yeah, not much. I went to a Brazilian steakhouse this weekend. I ate so much that it destroyed my stomach. I was in some pain after that. But it was worth it while I was eating. Great food. I just ate way too much. So yeah, it was what you expect from a Brazilian steakhouse. They did have something that I hadn't seen at other Brazilian steakhouses, and it was like grilled pineapple, but it wasn't just grilled. It was like it looked like they put brown sugar or like a glaze on it and then torched it all around, and then they would cut you slices from where the was on the outside, and I was like, this is delicious.
What was the name of the place?
Brasão in San Antonio, next to the Ferrari dealership. So if you're in San Antonio, guys, check out Brasão right next to the Ferrari dealership. It is worth the money. It ain't cheap, but those Brazilian steakhouses never are, right?
Ferrari dealership, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to Michael, who works at the Ferrari dealership as well. He was the first person to recommend it to us, but we went with my cousin, Lilian. Shout out to her because we celebrated both our birthdays because her birthday's the 18th. Jason, we got another birthday twin on here.
Pisces. Shout out Pisces.
Life.
Yo, how do you know that Ferrari dealership guy, though? Like, were you out like shopping for Ferraris or something?
How'd you know? It's pretty well known that teachers drive Ferraris. So
yeah.
No,
that salary is fucking nice.
That's what they always say. That's what they
You
always
get
say.
paid so well, bro. It's crazy. Yeah.
No, so Gabby's friend Katie is married to him, and they all actually knew each other in high school. So they've
Okay.
all known each other for quite some time now, and that's how I met him. And me and him we talk a lot now. We're pretty good friends. So yeah, that's how I know
Sweet.
him. But yeah, that was it for me, man. Let's go into some other information. I know that you had a question for our listeners about the Oscars.
Yeah, man. I was listening to this a podcast that I love, absolutely love. It's called All Fantasy Everything. They draft different pop culture categories, and they made a really cool one this week of what Oscar categories should be in the Oscars. So it made me think, like, just great category for us to talk about. Like, what categories do you feel like should be on there that aren't on there? Anything that you can think of?
Best monologue and best scene.
Best monologue and best scene. I like that. I like that. They said some stuff that I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. But one that I would really like is like a best comedy / musical.
Oh yeah, they really don't give love to comedies. I was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
really niche, but yeah, comedies themselves, they don't give love to the comedies at all.
Yeah, and like one of them was like saying like an achievement award of like nothing but hits. Like if you like had like you just had a crazy like 10-year run of movies like where you just like back to back to back movies that you like were amazing. For example, I think one of them was like Jim Carrey when he was like on his run with like Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, The Mask, Batman and Robin. Like although that movie to some people it sucked, but he did
it's not a big movie, but nostalgia purposes. For
yes.
nostalgia purposes. Another good one would be Jude Law when he came out in like 4 films in 1 year as well. Who else was? Brad Pitt had a huge string of films. He probably would have won that a couple.
That would have been a good one. But yeah, just like it just made me think like what categories, like for sure comedy, like best comedic performance, I think as well would be a good one. Again, because like the Oscars don't really give too much love to comedy movies. Also, they did mention best like I'm gonna say blockbuster film, but I guess so. Like because you know how Greta Gerwig didn't win like director or anything like that, but like the achievement that she was able to do and like box office hit and like how much money it brought in based off the budget that they got. No one thought it was going to be good, and like what it was for what it was, she deserves an Oscar.
Especially with a toy.
Exactly.
She did that much with a toy. There's no comic book for Barbie. There's like movies, sure, but that's not. They didn't do any of that on the movies.
Yeah, like another one would have been good too, like the Mario Bros movie. That shit was amazing. Like we need to get some love to those type of films because again, maybe they're not Oscar worthy, but like maybe Oscar worthy of like what they did for box office and maybe what they did for the comedic value and like how much joy it brought to people. Like we got to show them some love for that, you know.
Well, I guess we got to add some categories to the Roomies next year. That's all I got to say. Don't worry, right here on the 303 network, we're gonna get you on the Roomies. We'll get you best monologue, best comedy right here.
Yeah, we're making trophies too, so you know.
We'll send them out.
Yeah, kind of like the MTV Movie Awards, right? Like they had like best kiss, right? Best fight scene. We need to bring that back. Kids' Choice Awards. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about that later,
huh? Oh, one of our topics preview, guys. Quiet on set. We will be mentioning your childhood ruined and my childhood and Jason's childhood. Luckily, Jason, I didn't watch as much Nickelodeon as well as other people. I did watch Nick. I watched Nick. It's not like Disney, where I didn't see it. But I didn't watch as much Nick as other people, so I feel like I'll be a little more okay.
Were you a Cartoon Network guy or what?
I was a Cartoon Network.
Or PBS kid? You were a PBS kid, weren't you? Because you didn't have cable.
I was also a PBS kid. Hey, you know what? I feel like you're saying something about me right now economically,
I'm just saying, man. Like you could have found someone to steal cable because that's what we did, bro. Like we didn't pay for cable, we stole it. I feel like that's safe to say now, right? Like, hey, government, don't come at me. We stole cable. So
yeah, I mean, so many people did.
yeah, my parents knew a person. They're like, hey, your neighbors pay for cable. We can just connect it to yours, and now you guys have cable. Is that cool? Like yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Plus, I think
Yeah.
the statute of limitations on that crime is probably well past its date.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Jason, that new Future and Metro album has some people talking.
Oh yeah, man. So I just want to bring this up just because I'm a huge Kendrick fan. You know what I mean? I think he's probably the best rapper of our generation. Some people seem to disagree, whether it be J. Cole or Drake, whatever. But he again just
Eminem also takes. He also says he's the greatest still, which I'm like, okay, he's got an argument. Him, Andre 3000, they got an argument.
Yeah, but like more like of our generation. Well, I guess not our generation, right? A little bit like the Gen Z generation. Like it's like between because they don't know who that is. Like Eminem, like he's kind of ass right now, unless you're a white kid. No offense, but dude, because his music, like I don't know, man. His last album for Eminem was like all he does is just rap fast, you know.
Yeah, I did
I don't
like
think it
him
was
on
good.
Lyrical Lemonade song. That was pretty good. He has really good features still, I would say.
Yeah,
But yeah, album wise, he doesn't hit the same way he used to. But I wouldn't say that he's bad. It's just a different.
No,
kind
he's still
of
great.
Yeah. Andre 3000. I mean, he'd be putting out flute albums that make you wonder, like, why do I like it so much? So he's got his own thing going on.
That is true. Like I never thought I'd like an Andre 3000 album so much where he didn't even rap at all, which is crazy. Disappointing still, but it was good. It was actually surprisingly good.
It's annoying. It was annoying.
Yes. But yeah, anyway, dude, Kendrick went in, dude. It's like another like felt like when Control released with Big Sean, Jay Electronica, and Kendrick when Kendrick like dissed everybody. It kind of felt like that vibe. It just came out of nowhere. That album had just come out and like Metro Boomin and Future's album, and it said no feature on it, and like so we just got a surprise shocker when Kendrick just started rapping and just went in. And apparently like there's this whole beef with Metro Boomin and Drake, so it's like pick a side. It feels like just like House of Dragon, which is a nice good segue that we're going to get into just now. It's like Metro Boomin's like, all right, whose side are you on? Are you on Drake's side with I guess 21 Savage, like his crew, and now it seems like it's Future, Metro Boomin, Kendrick, right? Like it's like a civil war that we have going on, and I think we've been missing that in the rap world. Like, hey, let's see, and I feel like rap needed this because hip hop has been kind of on a downfall lately, and it's kind of like in the 90s. Yeah, no one's beefing. Like, again, we don't want you to kill each other or anything like that, but like everyone's like friends in the industry, and like people don't want to see that. They want to see like the rappers go against each other and maybe diss each other every once in a while, but keep it friendly, right?
Competitive, a little bit of a competitive nature. Yeah. I find it interesting. Everybody's talking about it, and it's just been taking over social media already. So it's pretty cool to see that. And only your boy Kendrick can do that. Really. He's
and then like,
dude.
Yeah, dude. Like people on Drake's side, like I get it. Drake is like commercially probably the best rapper ever of all time. In my eyes, yeah, but like in my eyes though, like I think the better rapper, the better artist, I think everyone knows this. It's Kendrick. And if you want to go at him lyrically, like he's gonna body you. So like everyone's kind of like waiting to see like, all right, what's Drake gonna do? Like because they've been subliminally dissing each other for the past decade now. The fact that he did it again, I was like, all right, I called out Drake a long time ago. He didn't do anything. He's been sneak dissing me. He's like, fuck a sneak diss. Now I'm dissing you straight. Like, what are you gonna do about it? So
I was just onto Pimp a Butterfly when he's like, but a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the happened? I'm like, we know who you're talking about. We know you've been talking about for a decade now. Like, all right,
yeah,
let's go.
Drake too, and Drake's music too. He's been dissing Kendrick like subtly, but like it's never direct. And this one was just like, oh, direct shot at you. Okay, let's go. So it's gonna be interesting how Drake responds. We'll see. Maybe he's gonna get a good ghostwriter to help diss him because I don't know how it's gonna.
It's the only way to do it.
He's calling his ghostwriters right now. It's like, hey, Kendrick just dissed me. I need you to fucking write me something fucking fire to diss him back.
Speaking of the music realm, I'm going to take us into the rock section for a minute. I know I mentioned it. I may have mentioned it last week as well. The 30th anniversary of Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails was March 8th. Also, Super Unknown by Soundgarden was released the same day. Both 30th anniversaries. But Zoomies, the store, put out a Nine Inch Nails collection for the Downward Spiral. So if you guys are fans, once again, check out that collection. I already got myself 2 shirts. I spent way more money than I should have on 2 shirts, but I'm a fan. I can't help it. I know some people that bought everything in the collection. So I was like, well, at least I'm not that. I'm not that. But yeah, if you're a Nine Inch Nails fan, go check out that Downward Spiral collection from Zoomies.
Damn, you've been listening to Nine Inch Nails since you were 4 years old then, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Now, you know what? I realized that I had heard Nine Inch Nails throughout my life, but I really got into them probably like in my preteen years. But
yeah, I know.
Maybe like 9 to 10 years later. Yes.
Yeah. I feel you. No, I'm just kidding. We're just definitely showing our age there. Speaking of music, before we go on, Sir released an album called Heavy this past Friday as well. Very special gift, man. Honestly, just for my birthday, couldn't ask for more. I can't stop listening to that album. I love Sir. His last album back in 2019, 2020, I can't remember. And I thought half of the songs were already released in the past couple years, and I just can't stop listening to this album. So if you guys love R&B, true R&B artists there, listen to Sir, Heavy. Love it. You guys will like it.
And did you hear the Justice and Miguel song that's coming out for their new album?
No.
First,
Fire?
It was, oh yeah, I don't know if it's pronounced Saturnine or Saturnine, but it's Justice and Miguel. Oh, it's a vibe, man. I can see the vibe that the album is taking. It's very French touch, just like usual, just very much Justice, same style as Daft Punk, those kinds of groups. But that song, I've already listened to it like multiple times in a row. I am not tired of it at all. So I gotta get on that Sir album. You gotta check out that. Saturnine. Although I will say I did like Poetry in Motion with Anderson .Paak, the Sir song. That was
yeah,
I on that song. It was fantastic. And then
Borealis.
Yeah, Borealis by Bjork and Jlin. I don't know. I think they remixed Bjork song. Pretty good stuff. Yeah. Anyway, we're going into the weeds of the music, but hey, every once in a while, that's all right.
Yeah, it's part of pop culture, so it was definitely a good one. Anything you got for us before we go into trailers, brother?
That's it for me, man. I actually wanted to go into a trailer. I saw you had put something about the song there. So a teaser trailer just dropped for a movie that I've been talking about, which is Beetlejuice. And Michael, oh my gosh, Michael, what is his last name? I keep wanting to say the wrong last names of different actors.
Michael Keaton.
You're not helping me.
Michael Keaton, bro. Michael Keaton.
I just wanted to say Batman.
I know. I'm Batman. I know. I was just messing with you. I knew we were trying to say, but I was like, "You got it. You got it."
No, I really didn't, because all I kept thinking was Michael Caine. Michael Caine, and I was like, "No, it's not Michael Caine." But yeah,
both in Batman.
Both in Batman. Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice now, like, he looks rough. He looks like what Beetlejuice is supposed to look like. Jenna Ortega comes out. You see the return of Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara. They're at a funeral. I'm thinking it's the dad's funeral because he's not there. So that would be the one that makes sense. It doesn't tell us much more, but we get to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice right at the end, and he says, "The juice is loose," which was fantastic. That was a great one-liner to give us right for the teaser.
Bro, so it looks like right? You said we get Beetlejuice, how Beetlejuice should look like, but it looked like Beetlejuice died from the first movie, right? It looks like Beetlejuice came back from the dead.
But that's what, like, in my mind, I'm like, he looks rough, so that's what I imagine Beetlejuice is
because he's
supposed
dead.
to.
Yeah.
And in the background, you hear Deo by Harry Belafonte playing in a choral version.
He said. And a good by I'm sorry, you said by Harry Belafonte. A
Yes,
great
sir.
rendition of it, man.
Yeah, they did the choral version, so it sounds more echoey, kind of in the background, very almost making it sound nostalgic and epic, which is exactly what they needed for the movie. So it worked out. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for this movie. This is like my childhood, one of the big ones from my childhood coming back. So
I'm guessing Jenna Ortega is going to be Winona Ryder's daughter. And then
yes.
It seems like Beetlejuice is going to be like, all right, well, you're too old for me. I want Jenna Ortega now. I came back to get my wife, right? Because, right, Beetlejuice is like, you just got to marry me. So Winona Ryder's too old now. She's like, I want Jenna Ortega as my wife. I feel like that's what's going to the story. I mean, if I was a writer, that's what I think I'd do.
That's what I would do. Just saying. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Especially because for some, like, in some weird way, Jenna Ortega looks like she could be Winona Ryder's daughter. Not that they
especially
look much
with the hair, right? The bangs that are cut. Yeah.
Not that they look much alike, but there's something about them that you're like, oh, they're similar in some way. But yeah, I'm excited for that one.
That emo look, you know what I mean? They both pull off the emo look.
That's got to be what it is. Yeah. Emo, gothic, that kind of style. You're right.
You know what would be cool? Instead of that sandworm that we saw for the first Beetlejuice, they bring the sandworm from Dune. Just kidding. But
just out of nowhere, you see the sandworms
from or whatever. Isal al-Gaib. I'm excited, man. It looks good.
I was also going to mention another show, moving on past Beetlejuice. There is a game called Ark, and it's a survival game in which you can run into dinosaurs, different types of animals, different clans of people, and it's like 24 hours, so you actually have to find a place for your person to hide when you are not playing. I don't know if the game is still going because it's a game from the past decade, so I don't know if it's still going or how popular it still is. But Jason, did you know that there is an animated series of it? And it's got a huge, and when I say huge, I mean it's got an enormous cast. Kind of shocking how many people are in this cast. I'll go ahead and tell you some of the people that are listed for the cast. Vin Diesel, Elliot Page, Gerard Butler, Carl Urban, David Tennant, Russell Crowe, Michelle Yeoh. And those are the ones that I for sure know. There's still a few more people that I don't quite know. There's also Jeffrey Wright, Zahn McClarnon, Alan Tudyk, which we know pretty well from plenty of different projects, Malcolm McDowell, a lot of famous faces. It just keeps going. So I'm interested in seeing what they do with this storyline and how it looks as a series.
Damn. Dude, that is sorry. I know you're telling me in person, but I'm like, holy fuck! Like, yeah, that's a strong cast right there.
Yeah, and they could do a lot with it because it didn't look like it had a linear story. It just had a world, and if you can make a story in a world, that's much easier than having to follow something, say like Halo, where there is a lot of story that can be given to you. But yeah, I'm interested in watching that one. And I'm going to be checking it out very soon, guys, on Paramount Plus. That one's a Paramount Plus exclusive. But we got a teaser trailer. Go ahead. Sorry.
You know what's funny? Gerard Butler, Carl Urban, and Russell Crowe. Like, if you put them all like in the same age, like in their early 20s or something like that, they all kind of look similar if you think about it.
Wow. Yeah, a little bit.
They could be like couples.
They're all brothers. Turns out we've all been fooled. Carl Urban and Russell Crowe are both Australian. Just saying. I think. Yeah, Gerard Butler's British, so I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but they all kind of look alike. They look similar. I'm not saying like they look like they could be related. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see you. I see you.
Especially a young Russell Crowe looks like a lot like Gerard Butler, like nowadays.
I think Carl Urban looks a lot like them too, especially with the facial hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's the facial hair. I think that's what does it.
But you got a couple things for us. A big trailer for a huge franchise on Max just dropped.
Oh, I know, the Penguin. Just kidding. I know you were trying to go into the other one. Well, yeah. Which one should I talk about first? Because I know which one you were talking about.
I was talking about the Penguin, so.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So on Max, so it was the Batman. So the Batman, with Robert Pattinson's Batman, right? We get the Penguin spinoff series. We get a teaser with Colin Farrell's Penguin. Looks like a crime boss series, and like I guess how he's taking over and stuff. It looks action packed, but like also just feels like a crime boss show, like an American gangster type stuff. Like, I guess we're gonna see like the ins and out of like the crime world in Gotham and like how it's taken over by the Penguin. Which I am all for. It looks fucking awesome, and it's coming out this fall in Max. And that teaser trailer was just enough for me to get excited again. I'm like, totally forgot about that this was coming out. Now I'm like, hell yeah, that's something that I'm gonna definitely watch, and I think I'll definitely enjoy. But I think others will enjoy it even if you're not like a Batman fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Batman was the big franchise I was mentioning. I know which one you're talking about. No, I wasn't mentioning that one, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what the Penguin looks like, man. Just I'm shocked that he's willing to do that much work with that much makeup and prosthetics on for so long a period of time. Shout out to Colin Farrell. Gotta give it to him.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like he looks unrecognizable. It's so good, but I honestly like I liked him in the movie. So I'm kind of excited to see like what he does and like what he's able to do. And I'm sure we're gonna get like maybe hints at the movie that's coming out, the second one, Batman 2. So look out. Like if I recommend watching the show because I'm pretty sure they're gonna put like little teasers of like what's to come in the second Batman. So I'm excited for that, man.
Well, off pod, you mentioned that the second Batman is delayed. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I brought it up last week. They were supposed to come out October of 2025. Now it's not going to come out till October of 2026.
So we'll definitely, hopefully, we'll be getting plenty of information from this show to keep us getting our fill of that Batman world.
I know, man. Ugh. Well, we're also going to get the animated Batman series coming soon. Like that's a green light. So hopefully it comes out before 2026. So maybe we get something to hold us over till then. You know.
Who bought out that series? Who bought the?
I think, yeah. So it's not going to be Max anymore. I think it was Paramount Plus, or I want to say it's Paramount Plus. I could be wrong. Though. So.
Oh wow!
Someone got it out. Like, no, we want this. It won't be Kevin Conroy's Batman. It's gonna be a different voice, but obviously, rest in peace. But I'm excited. We were upset that they weren't gonna greenlight it, so now it's gonna happen. So
kind of hope they do Jensen Ackles. He actually did a pretty good job as Batman in some of the animated films. Jensen Ackles for Supernatural and Soldier Boy in The Boys. If you guys do not know who Jensen Ackles is, I'm sure plenty of the girls listening do know who he is for physical characteristic reasons. The man is, needless to say, he's a very good-looking man. So
he's no Raja and John Pay or whatever his name is.
Ray J. John Page? He's pretty close from what I understand. From what I'm told, he's pretty close. But yeah, so I hope he does the animated voice for it, so that we can get someone that I've enjoyed watching in other shows.
Oh, also before we get into the next one, they announced our next James Bond. It's going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, that was the rumor from before. That's right. They
confirmed it.
Congratulations to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Hope he does really well. Jason, what's the next HBO one?
So our next HBO one is going to be House of Dragons season 2. We got a teaser trailer for that. Very excited for that. They released 2 trailers. Like they're really gonna dive deep into that. As far as pick a house, the green house or black house, right? Are you on Allison's side or are you on Rhaenyra's side? So what side are you on, my friend?
Because I mean, I generally was on Rhaenyra's side. So I'll have to see what happens over the course of the show, because it seems like there are bad people on both sides of this conflict.
Look, I told you, like, I feel like everyone's on House Black, right? But I understand where Allison's coming from. Although her son Aegon is a total piece of shit. I feel for Daemon though, right? He didn't have a dragon for a while. They teased him and all that shit, and like looks like he's gonna duke it out with Uncle Damon. Uncle Damon, right? Damien. I don't know, man. They all have similar names, so I could be wrong. But the one without the eye, what's his name? What's that kid's name?
I do not recall. I'm gonna have to come back to the show and get a little recap.
Yeah, I honestly would and it's coming out June 16th, so we'll definitely. I think Jimmy and I will definitely rewatch House of Dragon again since we finished watching Game of Thrones to see what we missed. So we're definitely excited to see that. And
I think it's Aemond. Aemond is the one missing.
Aemond. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm low key, man. Like at first, I was like, yeah, House Black, but like, I don't know, man. I think they're gonna turn it to us. We're like, okay, we understand House Green. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. It's gonna be very interesting.
That sounds good, man. I'm excited to see it. June, right? June 15th?
June 16th.
June 16th.
HBO Max.
Fantastic. Let's jump into our TV land. We had a quick episode from Bad Batch, very much kind of like its own little story episode, which I love. I love the side story episodes that we get. This one is that we get to see Fennec Shand again. Jason, what did you think of this episode?
Yeah, just a nice filler episode. We probably have, I think, 8 more episodes left. So they're definitely building into the story of like why Omega's important, and seems like the Bad Batch is trying to figure out. Well, Hunter and Wrecker, they're like trying to figure out, okay, why is Omega important and what the heck are M counts? So in this episode, they're trying to figure that out. They run into Fennec Shand, who's a huge bounty hunter, and at the end of the episode, they have to team up with Fennec Shand, and if we remember right, Fennec Shand was trying to chase Omega in season 1. So, but she's nor good nor bad. Obviously, in The Mandalorian, she becomes a lot more good. But she's just a bounty hunter that does it for money. She doesn't care who she works for. In her eyes, she just sees that, like, yeah, the government's flawed and all this stuff. So whoever is willing to pay me, I'm going to do it, as long as she has her certain morals, right? So they do a job for her, and she's going to get intel for them. And, they're like, all right, we did this mission for you. What are you going to tell us? And she's like, well, hold on. I need to get some more info. And they're like, what the fuck? What? We did this for you. He's like, you guys got to trust me. And sure enough, they do. They leave. And at the end of the episode, she talks to somebody. He's like, hey, they're asking about M counts, and we don't know who she's talking to.
Yeah. So my theory here is, because at the beginning of the episode, she talks about how her buyer for Omega originally thought that she would be safer with them, and so told her to back off and just let them take her. So if it is the same buyer, then one would have to assume that it's someone who is on their side and is looking for them. It could be a Senate member. It could be someone of great importance to the bigger story that we're going to see later on. But I mean, of course, I could be wrong, and it could be a villain. Not quite sure.
We'll see, man. I don't know. They definitely left it up to interpretation and for us to kind of guess, which also was, which I just saw your notes. Fennec Shand is and I hate her. That's so crazy. But yeah,
I was upset at first, but then I was like, wait, think. She said that her initial buyer wanted to let Omega go and go with the Bad Batch. So after that, I was like, I have to think about what she said. If that's what I'm going to base my information off of, because that's the information I have, then Fennec is probably giving her intel to someone who is not looking to hurt Omega or the Bad Batch.
Or it could. We don't know, but we'll see. But I mean, the way it plays out, Fennec Shan does become a good person. So I don't know. It's definitely going to play out, and I'm excited to see that. Keep watching. I think it's only going to get better, and I think it's going to be more intense, and we're going to have a lot of maybe emotional episodes coming fairly soon.
I'm still holding myself together, waiting for the moment where you admitted that it seems like they're all going to die. Because I don't know if Star Wars has the, for lack of a better word, guys, sorry, the balls to do that on a kid's show, but it would be a great story, a great way to end the storyline if it's them saving Omega and she goes off into the unknown.
Oh, they've had the balls to do that in kid shows. Rebels, Clone Wars, Fives, Kanan. The last
not quite
season.
the same as the whole protagonist team. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a little bit different. We get characters who die off, but the whole team, that's gonna be kind of wild. That's gonna be kind of wild. I feel like that'll be hard for kids to take as well. So if they do it, props to them, because it's a very good story.
I'm like thinking about it now. I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready for that either. Shit.
Bro, am I a kid too? No. I don't know if I'm ready for it either. Speaking of stories set out in space, Jason, the season finale of season 2 of Halo. What'd you think? Was it all right? What'd you think?
It was all right. Just kidding. No, bro, it was amazing, bro. Season 2 of Halo definitely impressed me. Way better than the first season, and I enjoyed the first season. I had a lot of problems with the first season. As I think both you and I could agree, we're like, yeah, we love that they made it the video game style, and like the story of Quan was kind of whack. But you mentioned in season 1, I feel like there's a lot of story and world building that was needed in season 1, which definitely brought it into season 2, and we're starting to see like a lot of character development. I'm still have no idea what the fuck Quan is there for. She's seeing visions, and like she knows something about the history of certain aliens and stuff like that. She knew about it's something that we predicted because we played the video game, The Flood, which was awesome to see that infection. It felt like The Last of Us for people that don't watch Halo or never played Halo. The Flood is like some type of disease, and it feels like The Last of Us, it just spreads into humans, and it's like a parasite. Yeah. So a fungus parasite. Yeah. Which was awesome to see. I thought they did a great job, like filming it, like on a horror side of things. Like it really did feel creepy. And I was like, oh shit, I'm watching this at night. It was a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like, whoa.
The best way to describe the Flood is the zombies from Last of Us meet the creature from The Thing. That would be what it is.
Yep.
The way the creature looks when it's not inside a person, that's kind of like that mixed with the zombies. And this episode had tons of the Flood, and it looks like these ancient creatures and people who are connected spiritually to some of these ancient creatures and lore are connecting to Quan as well in some way. So we're seeing them build on that story. Now, I have not read the books. We have a friend of the pod that does read the books, so I kind of want to see what their take is on all of that. But it looks like they're really building on that lore. And like you said, the season was so much better than the first season. I'm glad they changed showrunners. I think they did a lot of good work this season, kind of changing the direction with how it was going, the way they treat characters, and what they're making important in the show. Like, it's back to the characters that we wanted to see more of, although we lost some good ones. We lost Vanek, we lost the Admiral, and in this episode, spoiler alert, guys, we lose Halsey, we lose Parangoski. No one missed her, I'll say that. We lose Lara, because they all get the Flood. All of them get the Flood.
Dude, Lara's was very emotional. Like she knew she got bit, and that once she's like take care of Kessler, the son, when they finally get back to the sun, like, oh man, that fucked me up, bro. We don't lose Halsey though.
Yeah, she gets put in cryo sleep by her daughter.
Also, dude, fuck her, man. Fuck Halsey, bro.
Yeah.
She was still like, oh my God, you know what this is? Like, it's an infection and it's affecting humans, but like, we're on a breakthrough of all this stuff. Like, fuck your science, bro. What the fuck? Like,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah, this could be destruction of humanity, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
She has the thing with Halsey is that she has no morals and ethics. As long as it expands on scientific knowledge, she's with it, which is her biggest issue and what makes her different from other characters in the show. I definitely, when I saw that she had the flood, I was like, well, she won't be missed. But the one I was really happy to see get taken down was Parangosky. I was like, deuces, you should have been gone last season. Can't stand you.
Yeah, dude. Parangosky, I hate that bitch, bro. Hate her.
I hate her. I was happy to see that Lopez survived, though. I thought she was going to be done on the ship. Yeah. Oh, Perez. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Lopez.
Come on, man. We all don't look alike, bro. Come on.
You need to calm down. All right. My bad. But yeah, we see her, and then Kai is in the middle of space after destroying the main cruiser of the Covenant. Big shout out to Kai. She goes out like a champ. We'll see if she comes back. She probably will.
She's gonna come back. Yeah,
she'll be back.
She's a fan favorite. Like, she became a fan favorite. Like, there's no way you can't get rid of her. Master Chief and Makee are on Halo.
I can't wait for Makee to not be on this show anymore.
I hate Makee. I hated Makee this season too. Like, she was kind of pointless, honestly.
I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here? I wish, and that this. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and then I'm going to come back to Makee. Okay. First off, Master Chief jumps in and saves part of the fleet in their main assault, so that all of the Spartans don't die, right? And then he goes back to the Halo and has an epic battle with the Arbiter.
That was dope.
It was great. It was great. Sword battle and all. What we've been wanting to see. They finally gave us Master Chief holding an energy sword, which was pretty great to watch. But the Arbiter gets killed. We don't get to see the Arbiter's redemption storyline where he actually changes sides in the war. I was a little disappointed to see that. Yeah. It was a great fight, but just knowing from the games what the Arbiter goes through and how he becomes an ally of Master Chief, and we're not going to get that. It does put a little bit of a stain on it for me, if I'm being honest.
I'll agree, but also kind of like the storyline, because he kind of did give up. Well, he gave up himself for Makee, right? Or Makee, whatever bitch ass name is. See, because he did turn on his fellow Covenant.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So.
I was hoping we'd see more of him as an ally, and because just in Halo 2, you play as that guy for half of the game. Like, it's not even just for a small portion. No, you play as him for half of the game. So it was sad to see him go, but it was great for the current story. So we have a lot going, and we're barely going in to the Halo, and we got to see I forgot what those little floating robot boxes are with
the AIs.
Yeah. I do not remember what they're called. They're in every Halo game, and they lead you through pretty much every time you're going into a
building, or the ancient tombs and stuff.
What are they called?
I forgot, dude.
The Forerunners. Every time you go into a Forerunner facility, there's one there. And the deeper you go in, he's following you. He's either helping you or trying to stop you. So it was great to see him and how he's interviewing both of the characters who are supposed to be the chosen ones. So that was cool. Can't wait to see season 3. Looks like season 3 is going to be set in the first game. So I'm excited to see all of that.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Overall, we're on the Halo.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited for that. It seems like they put a lot of money into it, and kind of just listen to maybe critiques about the first season. And what better way to tease like season 2 than in the Super Bowl commercial? Like, hey, check this out. And hopefully we got a lot of viewership, which it seems like there will be a season 3. So I'm guessing there is a lot of viewership. So I'm excited to see season 3. Other than that, maybe not so on the bright side. Speaking of our childhood and when we, game wise and stuff like that, we grew up on some stuff, and I saw a show that relates to my childhood, our childhood, Luigi, Nickelodeon. I saw Quiet on Set, man. I think it was on Max as well, 4-episode series, and it's just about Dan Schneider and like the stuff that was going on behind the scenes of maybe child abuse and stuff like that.
Spoiler warning, guys. Some listeners really want to see this one and have not yet. So, Jason,
spoilers.
I'm giving a spoiler warning because I want you to tell the listeners who have or are not currently planning to watch it what exactly to expect and who. Really, we want to know who it happened to and how it affected the things we watched.
Yeah, dude. So honestly, it goes way back into like the early 90s, like 80s and stuff. Like there's a lot of child actors on this show that just speak about like certain like abuse that they got and dealt with. Dude, I forget that. Yeah, these kids were like on Nickelodeon and being like actors and stuff like that. But I don't know. They're also working, and you forget to think that these are actors and they're going to work long hours. But these are kids, bro. And they treated it like they were like adults. And I am very pissed off a lot of the parents based on this documentary series. Like, where were you guys when this shit was happening? One very first episode, this girl, she's like, yeah, like my daughter, like I always wanted to be an actress. My daughter, like, so you can tell she was like living her life through her. And she was maybe in a scene or two, like in All That. You remember All That?
Mm-hmm.
You watched All That? Yeah. And she built a relationship with like one of the casting directors. I think it was a casting director. I can't remember if it was or not. His name was Jason. So weird. But
you can't trust those Jasons.
Yeah, you really can't. But they had a relationship, and like he was friendly. Like he didn't look like a predator or anything like that. But like they started emailing and pen paling each other, and then he ends up like sending her nudes of like him jerking off, just saying like, "Yeah, I was thinking about you." And this girl, the daughter, ends up showing her mom, and she's like, "Oh my god, what?" Like disgusted. And then she's like, "But I didn't want to take it to the cops. Why?" It's like, because I think that would be too much for her or some shit like that. We're like, what? It was bullshit, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, you go to the cops immediately. You know how many people you can save? And she didn't say anything. And
she was eventually trying not to ruin her career. That's what it was.
I think that's what it was.
I'm sorry. That writer was braver than her. The writer who outed them for trying to pay 2 women one person's salary.
Right, dude. That shit was fucked up, man. Like, it really bothered me. Later on, when you go into the series, this guy sexually molested one of the actors, and we didn't know about it. No one knew about it because again, he was 15 at the time when it happened, and he wanted to be like redacted. So, and it seems like a lot of the kids that maybe knew about it had to write NDAs and they couldn't talk about it. I don't know why they covered it up, but what made me really gross is like when they were sentencing and stuff like that, he didn't serve prison time. I think he served like all he had to do was like community service and had to register as like a sex offender, but that's it. And he still kept working in the industry. Fucking gross. And also, yeah, and he sexually molested this person, like in gruesome details, because they got him on recording because he called him on the phone. Dude, he sodomized him, used objects on him, like he did everything that you can imagine on this guy. And
was this Drake Bell?
This was Drake Bell, yes. What was more gross?
Drake Bell ended up continuing the vicious cycle, and was later charged with inappropriate behavior with a minor as well, right?
Yeah, texting her and stuff like that, and like in intentions to like have a relationship. It didn't go any further than that though, because yeah, and made me think is like, is it reason like? because he's so fucked up in the head because of what happened to him? Did it make him do that as well? I don't know. I'm not saying what he did was right.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
make
it
it
doesn't mean
okay.
it's okay. But yeah. But what really pissed me off about that when, during the whole court process, people were defending the predator, the person that abused Drake. Were writing letters like, hey, please go easy on him. Like, dude, like famous people like James Marsden, Cyclops from X-Men.
No.
Yeah, yes, dude.
No.
And other people are like just defending this guy that molested him. Is like, please go easy on him. He's like blah blah blah. Like if Drake Bell, like I'm pretty sure Drake kind of insinuated like stuff like that, like kind of tempted him and stuff. Like, what the fuck, dude? That is disgusting. How dare you write shit like that?
Marsden said this?
Not James Marsden, but like I don't know what
Oh.
his letter said, but like a lot of people were defending him and like they were showing like little snippets of what people said in their letters. That's fucking gross, dude. Other shit like just Dan Schneider just being an overall shitty person. What happened to Amanda Bynes? They didn't interview her, but like it seems like they need to. Like you understand like why like some of these child actors become the way they are because they start speaking about
what exactly happened to Amanda Bynes?
Amanda Bynes, bro. Like she had a conservatorship with her parents, and she had a falling out with her parents, bro. Like if you see her now, bro, like she's been in and out of jail, in and out of rehab. She has a tattoo on her face. She's not doing well. Like mentally, you can tell she's
that I've seen. I was just wondering what happened to her during that time period because she was very close to Dan Schneider. So I was wondering
very close to Dan Schneider. So but she didn't speak in this series. So we're wondering like what effect does that have on her? Like maybe we need to hear her side of the story. And maybe what these parents are like, hey, what they would do for fame and for their kids, for their career, we're like, because like, hey, it's in your best interest if your kid just shuts the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like that's what it seemed, and that's what that environment felt like.
Have their kids shut up too. It seemed like.
Yeah, dude, it was very disturbing. I actually had nightmares about it, which was crazy. Watched 2 episodes in one night, like right before I went to bed, and like I woke up like just having like some weird dreams about like child abuse and stuff like that, which is, I mean, we dream about stuff that we watch, right, and stuff like that. But it was just that was honestly, I was like, wow, I didn't think it really actually messed with my head as much as it did.
Affect you the way
yeah, dude. So I do recommend watching it. If you're a Nickelodeon fan, maybe not. It will hurt you, but I think everyone should see it just to be aware. If you ever have, especially a kid that maybe has a lot of potential and you want to bring him into the Hollywood lifestyle, because it's not maybe. And this is just Nickelodeon's for kids. Like it goes even further than that, as we've seen with Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein and shit like that. Like it goes further. So just know, like if you want to become famous, like what are you willing to risk, right? P. Diddy, all that shit. So it's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, these people are everywhere. I mean, as you know, it's always the people you least expect. So that was kind of shocking, and especially to see like the little things that they would do on those shows that were subliminal messages from jokes like from them. Like, oh no! Yeah. Like all of those shots of like or stuff coming into a person's face, or like a pickle going through a hole in the wall. I was like, oh,
dude, right? And like, oh, it's meant for kids. Like, okay, why are we joking about shit like this? Though it's weird. Now that you think about it.
Or even the animated shows. Someone showed me a Ren and Stimpy clip where there was a saw, like a butt saw.
Yeah, and he's using it as like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's clear. That's
the creator Ren and Stimpy. The creator Ren and Stimpy had a girlfriend, 15 years old.
There it is.
Disgusting.
There it is. Well, childhood ruined. Childhood ruined. Yeah.
But speaking of some childhood, we brought back some of the 90s back, and I guess we're going to go back to 1997. What do you got for us? I haven't seen it, but let me know.
The X-Men 97. Oh my God. I know people have lost faith in Marvel. They can go watch the show right now. It is easily one of the best things I've seen Marvel put out already. And it's only 2 episodes in. I'm not going to go too in depth on it because I know, Jason, you haven't quite watched the episodes yet, but
Haven't seen it yet.
I do have some spoilers. If you have not watched X-Men 97, you might want to skip through this part. Uh, Not only do we see that Cyclops and Jean are trying to leave the team, I don't think they will, but they're trying to leave the team. Cyclops is now a badass. And he even has a line where he's like, "Oh no, I surrender." Just like in the very first episode of the show when they take his glasses off. And same thing he says, not opens his eyes and wins the day. Cyclops is a badass now. I loved it. We see the team change, which we've seen in the previews before. There are a few other things that were noticeable, though. Magneto and Rogue have a relationship that was established somewhere in the show that we did not see, and they can actually touch each other. There are various reasons in the comics why that can happen. So we're going to see which one is the one that they actually use. One is that he can use like a layer of magnetism to protect him from her powers. So we'll see if that's what they use as well. Executioner shows up and actually shoots Storm in one of the scenes where Magneto is on trial at Congress and takes her powers away. So Storm loses her powers. An Omega level mutant loses her powers and leaves the team. It's a lot that happened. Baby Nathan Summers is born. So they changed the origin of. I'm sorry, I lost my breath there. They changed the origin of Cable, so we are seeing baby Cable right now. We see that the Sentinel and its program is finally fully destroyed. Genosha is recognized by the UN Council after Magneto's trial because he is now the leader of the X-Men and he refuses to be taken in, but he gives them every reason why he did the things he did, specifically stating that everything he did was in reaction to things that were not allowing mutants to live an equal life to human beings. So it was a really, in terms of the writing, very highbrow. The dialogue was almost not for children. It was a lot of high level vocabulary. It was an extremely fun show to watch. Magneto is wearing the Marvel Now costume from the comics. Sunspot makes an appearance in the first episode, just like we saw with Jubilee in the first episode of 92. We get a new character that's probably going to be coming back very soon. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next few episodes.
Yeah, very. I remember X-Men being very about civil rights because I think that's when X-Men was being written during the civil rights movement, right? So
yes,
it makes sense. Mutants are technically the minority. So you love to see like Magneto's side of, yes, maybe he's an antagonist, but he's not an evil person. He's doing it for the good of the mutants and his kind.
Well, because of Charles's will, he is now the leader of the X-Men and must do whatever he can. Like, he does respect Charles enough to fulfill those wishes, to do whatever he can to live side by side with humans.
I love that relationship between those two. Yeah. All right, I can't wait to watch it, man. I just been watching other stuff, obviously. So
yeah. Keeping it in animation, Invincible episode was a lot of setup, I'd say. I mean, Rex Blode getting shot in the head and then still winning the day. And we're seeing that Adam Eve is probably going to get with Mark because Amber and Mark look like they're not going to last much longer. Right, Jason?
It seems like they're going to break up. And honestly, like when we saw in season 1, like it seems like Adam Eve and Mark have a relationship. They're going to have a relationship. And they kind of set it up in this part, like he's like, yeah, like I'm a normal person. I love what he does. And like, but like he's doing this as a superhero and I can't relate to that. And it seems like Adam is like, well, I relate to that. So like, it seems like they're going to end up together, which honestly, kind of what fans wanted this whole time, right? Like Amber's great. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like a better match for Mark and Adam Eve. Right?
I would agree. I think they're probably the two of the most powerful characters in that show. So it's pretty cool to see that they might end up together. They're both very likable characters. I'm definitely interested in seeing that relationship grow, as opposed to a relationship that got cut real short by a death. Duplicate died, bro. She is
That was
actually dead.
yeah, and
Uh,
like you didn't think she could die because she can duplicate herself, but apparently, if all the bodies are dead, she can't duplicate herself, which
exactly.
makes total sense now you think about it.
Yeah, and the immortal takes it pretty hard. I mean, he even says at the end after the funeral, standing out, looking at the sky, he's like, "This one felt different. I thought I had more time with her." Like he thought that he would have more time to spend with her because he's seen plenty of people die in his life because he's immortal. So I thought that was, as you mentioned, that it's really good character growth.
Yeah, I love that. Also, speaking of character growth, I think his name is Donald, the dude with the glasses, the agent that
I think so,
works with
yes.
Cecil. He finds out that he's cloned right in the first episode, and like you just see him dealing with the trauma and like realizing like I'm not the same me anymore. Like I'm pretty much created, and my memory is just wiped into that. And he's trying to like really fight himself of like how different it is. I think there's gonna be more story to it, but I fucking love the fact what this show does great is every character is not important, I guess. And they all go through on their own character growth, even if it's something small, but they're all going through something. Yeah, there's a bigger picture, but they all have to have their own battle and turmoil that they have to fight within themselves, which I think the show does amazing. Um, so I definitely want to give a shout out to that one, that storyline. Um, bro, Alan, the Alan Alien, right? Might be my favorite character, right? We see that he's live. He comes back to Mark, but just the comedic. I think it's. I know Seth Rogen helped produce it and he voices Alan, but honestly, might be my favorite character just because. And honestly, I think why I like this show too a lot is because they have perfect casting. I feel like they've hit on every character that they casted for. Mark Grayson, even Omni Man, J.K. Simmons. Like I feel like every dude, and the more you look at it, when you search up Invincible cast, look that shit up. It's fucking wild how many great actors are in this fucking in this movie
Oh
show.
yeah,
Sorry.
tons and tons of great characters. And mentioning Donald once again, you could tell that gosh, Mark's friend, um, he gets his
Will,
boyfriend back. If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
Williams.
I
Yeah,
think the boyfriend is also an android or like some kind of robot with his
he is.
memories
That's
back.
why Donald said he was gonna like check back on him because he might be dealing with some trauma. Definitely, yeah, he's definitely an android.
Yeah, so
Um,
that was interesting to
oh, wow.
see. And then last but big one, Alan comes to Earth as mentioned in the last episode, and he comes with news from that Viltrumite that supposedly turned on his people. I don't think that Viltrumite turned on his people. I think he's using Alan to bring Mark over, and it's so far has not worked. But he sees what information Mark has and what Nolan was going to give to the people of Earth.
Wait, you think that?
That's what I think. I think that he was trying
Oh,
to
okay.
lure Mark over,
I thought
and
he
then
was definitely. Yeah, I thought he was definitely on Mark and Omni Man's side.
well, I mean, we'll find out. But
Yeah,
that was my theory. I thought he was just trying to bring him in, and he thought this would be a perfect time to uh, to get
get
him
him
to come.
over. Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
like the storyline with they deal with the parasites from Mars, and we think they kill them, but it turns out at the very end of the episode, one of the parasites lives and goes back into the Martian, the astronaut. Last thing, General Craig makes an appearance. He's a Viltrumite, the one with the eyeball. He's actually in
hmm
the comic books. He's actually one of the strongest Viltrumites, um, based off the comic books or the books, whatever. But it was nice to see him. You're going to see a lot more of him. General Craig, he's like kind of like the leader of the Viltrumites. Like again, he's a general, so he's a lot stronger than Omni Man and a lot stronger than Mark Grayson. So I'm excited to see his character development and what more stuff we see on that. So definitely leading up. There's definitely going to be a lot more seasons because I think we only have maybe 2 or 3 more left episodes.
yeah.
Um, Definitely going to be a season 3. Definitely going to be a season 4. Probably even a season 5.
I hope they keep it going for a long while. I think the as long as the comic can go, I hope they keep that going. Great show. I hope you guys check it out. Now, I know we've been covering Shogun, but I did want to mention we will cover Shogun next week. This was a perfect episode to kind of not talk about, so we'll give you guys Shogun next week on our next episode.
Fair enough.
Jason, anything else that you wanted to add before we let our viewers go?
I saw a movie, but I'll definitely talk about it next week, just so we can fill in some stuff. We're running into our hour, so bring it up. But yeah, keep listening, guys. Again, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, revenge_of_the_pod, on Twitter, X at ROTP Boys, YouTube, Revenge of the Pod, one word. Check us out.
All right. As always, we love you guys. We appreciate you, and we hope you guys listen to us again next week. We'll see y'all next week on Revenge of the Pod. Peace out, guys.